Today we're diving into a vast, invisible world that lives on you, in you, well, it pretty much is you. It's called the microbiome, and honestly, understanding it might just change how you think about, well, everything.
So let's just start with a kind of a wild thought. What if you, the person listening to this right now, aren't just one single thing?
What if you're actually more like a walking, talking ecosystem? A bustling metropolis filled with trillions of tiny residents that are absolutely essential to how you function every single day. That's the rabbit hole we're going down. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we have to start with the basics. What in the world is a microbiome? Anyway. All right, this is the official, kind of sciencey definition from way back in 1988. But the most important part, the real key, is that last phrase, their theater of activity. This isn't just about the microbes themselves. It's about the whole production, their environment, the stuff they produce, their genes. It's a totally holistic way of looking at life. And this right here perfectly explains the #1 mix-up. You hear people say microbiota and microbiome like they're the same thing, but they're not. Think of it this way. The microbiota are the actors on stage, all the living bacteria, fungi, and so on. But the microbiome, that's the entire theater. It's the actors, the stage, the lighting, the script, the whole shebang. You know, we didn't always have this collaborative view of microbes. For a very long time, our relationship with this invisible world was built on one simple idea: fear. Let's take a look at how that perspective got completely flipped on its head. This timeline just shows what a seismic shift this has been. I mean, we start in the 1670s with a guy just discovering these little animalcules. Then fast forward to 1884, and it's all about germ theory. Microbes are the enemy. They're bad guys we have to kill. It takes a full century for the concept of the microbiome to even get a name. And then boom, 2005, the Human Microbiome Project comes along and changes everything. It showed us these inner worlds were not only normal, but absolutely vital. The paradigm shifted from war to partnership. So now that we know how we got here, let's meet the actual actors in the play, the microbiota. How do they actually live and work together inside this theater? This is probably the most important thing to understand. These microbes are not just loners floating around. No way. They are living in incredibly complex communities. You gotta think of it like a genuine social network with alliances, rivalries, communication, the works. And just like any other social network, you've got all kinds of relationships going on. You have the positive ones where everyone's helping each other out. Then you have the negative stuff, like species competing for food or even hunting each other. And sometimes they just ignore each other. It's this incredibly complex web of interactions that dictates the health of the entire ecosystem. So you might be wondering, how in the world do scientists map out these invisible social circles? Well, they use these amazing tools called co-occurrence networks. It's basically a map where every dot or node is a type of microbe, and the lines between them show that they have some kind of significant relationship. It's how we can literally see the hidden architecture of these communities. Now, when I say microbiome, I bet the first thing that pops into your head is the human gut, right? And you're not wrong, that's a huge one, but it is just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. These microbial worlds are literally everywhere. Yep, every single plant you see has a microbiome. They help it pull nutrients from the soil, they help it fight off diseases, which, when you think about it, is pretty fundamental to, all of agriculture and our entire food supply. And of course, it's not just plants. Animals are totally intertwined with their microbial partners. Their microbiomes have been shaped by what they eat, how their bodies are built, and literally millions of years of evolving together. This is an ancient, ancient partnership. And then you can go to the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. And what do you find? Microbiomes. They're helping corals build massive reefs. They're helping to feed the biggest whales on the planet. They are driving life at every single scale. And just to give you a sense of the scale of this research, one recent analysis that was trying to figure out how these partnerships evolved, well, it looked at samples from more than 100 different species of vertebrates. Everything from fish to frogs to mammals. It's massive. So after all that, what's the big takeaway? Where is all this incredible science leading us? Well, it's pointing to a completely new way of understanding biology itself. Here it is. This is the punchline.
the whole idea of a standalone individual might actually be obsolete. The real unit of life, the thing that actually evolves and survives, is something called a holobiont. That's the host plus all of its microbial teammates, all working as one single integrated system.
And look, this isn't just some weird abstract science concept. This matters a lot because we're seeing the same pattern over and over again. A healthy, balanced state, that's called eubiosis, is almost always linked to a really diverse community of microbes. And a sick, imbalanced state, dysbiosis, is linked to low diversity. Figuring out that balance could be the key to the future of medicine, conservation, and maybe the health of the entire planet.
You know, it really feels like we've just kicked open the door to a hidden universe that was all around us this whole time. We went from fearing microbes as germs to finally understanding them as our essential partners. And that just leaves one big question. What other secrets are waiting for us in this incredible, invisible world?